I think it's okay. I think it's got enough battery. But yeah, I am live now, so let's see. All right. Well, hello to anyone who's joining me. I've been playing a lot with Yorion lately. Card seems pretty good. Not quite as good as Luris, maybe. Very different, obviously. I got to see a bit of a stream. It was Star City Games earlier today. They had their like versus series with Corey and Ross, and it was cool because they played an I think it was probably just Aspiring Spike's regular 80 card red list with the Avalanche Riders. They had Corey piloting that deck against I forget what Ross was on. I think he was playing some kind of Luris deck, but they were basically just doing like a little mini tournament with all of the new companions, and getting to see Luris in action in the decks that it showed up in was pretty ridiculous. Luris is, very similar to Eternal Witness. Like, it's not an ATB trigger. It's just whenever it's on the battlefield, you can cast a permanent like CMC 2 or less from your graveyard. And so what happened in one of the games was he was just casting Seal of Removal. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the card. Or Seal of Fire is what it's called. Seal of Removal is the blue one. Seal of Fire, you just sacrifice this enchantment. It's a 1-drop enchantment, and it deals 2 damage to anything. So if you got Luris out, you just get to rebuy that every single turn, and it was so unfair. He got to just like shock everything that his opponent played. And I think that's like that's pretty basic stuff for Luris. So Luris, it's like Eternal Witness, which is obviously one of the best cards ever printed in Magic, except it triggers every single turn. It's not a 2/1, it's a 3/2. It has lifelink for some stupid reason. And it has the same mana cost. And you get it every single game because it's your companion. So imagine starting every single game with Eternal Witness, except it's better in every way than Eternal Witness. It's just like, what are they thinking about? Hey, DV, welcome to the stream. So yeah, I mean, I've played against Luris a couple times. I don't think it's... I've played necessarily against like the best, most tuned Luris lists. Mostly, I've played against Hardened Scales with Luris a couple times, and it doesn't really seem to do as much. It's kind of a weird thing in that deck because they play so much green because they need mana for Hardened Scales as a green enchantment that it seems like their black or white mana, which you need for Luris, is a little bit sketchy. So they like weren't really casting Luris that often. But I think if you play against like a dedicated Luris deck, they're going to be pretty busted in general. Yeah, I'm certainly thinking that. But a lot of people were thinking that Uro might get banned, but that card just looks like pretty basic when you compare it to Luris. All these names are pretty stupid. I know that Aspiring Spike was talking about that, but we had Oko, Uro, Luris, and it's just like, all these names. Like, come up with something that's like actually sounds good. So anyhow, I had been playing, as you know, 4 colors with Siege Rhino. It felt pretty clunky, and something that I talk about often on my stream, I think, is that I don't like to be trying like 8 different new things at once, because it's so hard to be able to tell like what's actually working and what's not working, and what new technology is actually good and what's bad. You have to kind of test maybe 1 or maybe 2 things at a time. So I'd been sticking with the 4-color version that I knew. I didn't really like how the mana felt, but at the same time, people were starting to talk about lots of different ideas, like the idea of adding abundant growth in the Yorion lists, alongside Arkham's Astrolabe. At first, it's like, oh, maybe I'll run a single abundant growth. Maybe I'll run, maybe I'll try 2. But the thing is, like, after playing the deck a bunch, you realize that these 1-drop cantrips that fix your mana are just really, really strong. Because if you do get to cast Yorion, those things just draw cards again. And so if you've got 2 or 3 of these things on the battlefield, Yorion is just, it's a 4/5 flyer with minimum Ancestral Recall strapped to it. So if I'm thinking of the right Power 9 card, I'm a little bit out of it right now. Imagine if Abundant Growth read G, fix your mana, and draw 2 cards. Yeah, and it pretty much does. And, you keep playing these things, and it just gets so much value. I also kind of realized the deck is a little bit weaker to aggressive strategies at 80 cards because you can very easily get hands that are like Venser, Soulherder, Birds of Paradise, and it's like, what am I going to do against Burn with this hand, So I increased the wall count. I've got 6 walls. Packed out the removal a little bit by adding 2 on thin ices. I've been talking in the Discord a little bit about this. I love the art on this card. It's pretty well done. It's very subtle, kind of minimalist. You can sort of feel the despair in the art. It's pretty nice. But anyhow, this is cool because you can do some cool tricks with it with Yorion. Like imagine turn 1 against humans, you play it on a champion of the parish, and then later in the game they play a Mantis Rider. You cast Yorion, you blink on thin ice, and you can give them back their champion. If it had any counters on it, obviously the counters get reset, and you get to nab the Mantis Rider with the on thin ice now. So I've kind of liked this so far. It's sorcery speed, which can be a little bit awkward, but it is a snow permanent, so it does contribute to Death Touch. I'm gonna go grab a sweatshirt. I'm a little bit cold. I'll be back in a second. All right, so as I was saying, more removal feels a little bit better, more walls feels a little bit better, just to be able to put up some defense. The chord targets kind of remain the same, but you can probably see I've got a little bit of red in the deck. I just found I had like almost every single game. Well, first of all, almost every single match is going to time. Like learning to play this deck quickly is a big deal because when Yorion comes down, it's a little bit awkward. It comes down and like you have to let the initial ETB trigger resolve, and then once that resolves, you start clicking things, and then you have to click done. And then at the end step, you have to stack triggers. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on that if you're not careful can easily waste like a couple of minutes on your clock. So anyhow, I don't know how I got sidetracked like that, but the red, okay, I had been casting Chord a lot in this deck, and I just felt like instead of chording for stuff like Stonehorn Dignitary and then chord for Soulherder to try to not lose the game, I felt like, why not just get Kiki in the deck? Chord doesn't really care what creature the opponent, it doesn't really care the color the creature is. So, it doesn't really matter if you have the triple red or not, like most of the time, 80% of the time. So I just found myself chording all the time. And if I'm going to chord more than once, it should win the game. And so just added a single Kiki, and immediately I just like got the Kiki win like multiple games in a row. So I think it's pretty much like an excellent win condition for this deck, the way that it ends up playing out all the time. Lavinia is, yes, a concession to aggro, but it's also really good against mid-range. Like if Jund gets out like really far ahead with a Renin 6 and like a Liliana, if you get Lavinia down, it blanks their planeswalkers for a turn, gives you a chance to get some kind of loop with Ephemerate on Lavinia, that kind of thing. It's also good against all these artifact strategies. Whenever I bring in Lavinia, not bring in Lavinia, but whenever I bring in Collector Oof, speaking of artifacts, it's kind of an easy swap. I can just take out some Astrolabes. I don't really love the non-bow there. It's not that important, but it does immediately open up space when you're sideboarding in against artifact strategies. I'm digressing from Lavinia. But what has happened actually a couple of times already against humans, twice in one day, really weird, 2 different matches against humans. I played Stonehorn Dignitary, or corded for it or something. And they immediately played a Reflector Mage, which is tricky because they can't attack on that turn because the effect is still in play. But then I can't recast Stonehorn on my next turn because of Reflector Mage's text. So what I ended up doing was just casting Lavinia, which blanked their next combat step. So in 2 matches against humans in a row, I went like Stonehorn into Lavinia, and then they basically lost at that point. So the cord target's pretty much the same. Just got the Resto and Kiki. Restoration Angel has like really amazing synergy with Yorion. Cryptic Command has felt great. Parcel Beast has felt great. I actually think I would like to have more Parcel Beasts, and I might like to have a 3rd Cryptic Command. Not really sure where I'm going to squeeze it in. 29 lands feels just about right. The thing is, we've got so many cantrips at 1 mana and 2 mana that I have not felt short on lands. I went up to 30, and I felt a little heavy. I mean, it's kind of stupid to say that, like, 1 out of 80 cards changed and suddenly the deck felt different. But if I can say, like, generally, if I felt like I've been getting land screwed or flooded, it's definitely been more on the flood side, I think, than the screw side. So I don't think I would need to go above 29. I've got 4 Dorks with the Birds of Paradise. So anyhow, the deck has been feeling good. I feel like I'm just about ready to jump into leagues, but I feel like I want like a couple more reps in queues before feeling like fully comfortable. It's just, again, the deck plays pretty slow. You've got to be on top of all of your triggers and just know what you're doing in general. It's really easy to time out playing with Yorion. I heard that Scott Mines got rated by, I think it was MTG Goldfish, so he had like 900 viewers at one point. It's pretty awesome for him. It's pretty exciting. So we're here just waiting for a queue opponent. Let me, I guess I can resize my windows for you guys. Okay. Well, we're still waiting, so let's take another look at the deck while we're waiting for an opponent. Sideboard, obviously a bunch of cord targets. Thren has felt pretty good. When he gets on the board, it's like a real plan against control. They can have a hard time dealing with him. Of course, like one pretty reliable way is just for them to sort of keep looping Cryptic Command, tapping him down. But apart from that, there's very few ways to stop this guy. Loaming Shaman, Yixlid Jailer, both primarily for Jund, but also just any decks that have stuff going on with the graveyard. You can pretty comfortably bring in cards like this when you're running 80 in the deck. If you draw a cord and they've got something dangerous in the graveyard, of course you can go grab them. If not, you just keep playing your basic plan. You don't necessarily have to grab them. Like against control decks that are trying to loop things like Cryptic Command, some like a Loaming Shaman might actually be pretty useful in some of those spots. Collector Oof has been good against Tron, Urza decks, etc. It was actually really, really good against Tron this week. Auriok Champion and 3 Burnt and Forge Tenders. Again, really trying to shore up the burn matchup. They can hit the ground running like pretty much every single game. And with such a big deck, you want to make sure that you've got a good number of hits to be able to actually compete with them. Looks like we have found an opponent. I'll go ahead and get this window set up for you guys. Always takes some doing. All right, I'm going to be on the play. I'm going to click Yorion and say OK. And this looks good. We'll keep. Looks very good. Okay, opponent kept 7 as well. Yorion always pops out at the beginning of the game. And I think I'll just open up with this forest into the island into astrolabe. Oh, you know what? I'm rushing already. I didn't even see this bird of paradise. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm playing so fast all of a sudden. Just calm down. Calm it down. That was kind of absurd that I didn't play my bird. I might actually get punished. Sorry for the extremely early punt. So at this point, it's just Wall of Blossoms. Amulet of Vigor. Happy to see Deputy of Detention, some interaction. You know, obviously our deck pretty thin on interaction when you compare it to some other decks. Gotta get my head on straight. I don't love that I just didn't play my birds on time. I don't think it actually makes such a big difference here. If I played birds, I guess I did draw. No, I drew the Soulherder off the wall, so I probably still would have just played wall and had an untapped birds this turn. So I don't need to kick myself too hard. Opponent has found a Valakut. Well, if that's their land for the turn, it seems pretty good for us. All right. Okay, not playing the Valakut yet. Running out another Stirrings. All right, so no Karu land yet. I guess I might as well play Deputy next turn, nabbing Amulet. That seems like a reasonable line. I mean, of course, being on 4 mana instead of 3 would be always good, and then 5 instead of 4. Get to Yorion 1 turn earlier. Ugh. Okay. Also have to start thinking about Chord and what sort of the what's going on in this matchup. Opponent could play Dryad, in which case we'd want to go get Knight. I don't think we're quite at Chord territory yet, so yeah, just nabbing this seems reasonable to me. I've got 1 Flooded Grove in the deck to help with cryptic commands, and it's felt pretty smooth so far. Hey McDerp, welcome to the stream. I am playing just a queue against this opponent passing without playing their Valakut or their Castle Garenbrig. I think they just sort of forgot on their first main phase. Okay, they choose to play the Valakut. This is obviously very, very slow on the Amulet player side of things. It's good for us. So this requires 4 mana to get to 6. It doesn't look like they're going to have that next turn. So I don't think I'll have to leave up Cryptic here, but you can see that, you know, the Flooded Grove does help get that triple blue. In this case, I could just get like another blue land and have blue and then filter with Astrolabe. But of course, it's just always nice to have a little bit of extra protection. So we're actually in a pretty decent position here. I can play, I can Chord for almost anything at this point, though. One line with Chord is to Chord for Eternal Witness, get back Chord, and then Chord for Restoration Angel, and then Chord for Kiki. We're 1 mana away from being able to cast Yorion. I kind of like just holding up Ice Fang and Cryptic here. Though, or I'm also holding up Chord, I think. If they play out, I don't think they have a Dryad. If they did, they probably would have played their castle last turn. So yeah, anyhow, hold up Chord. If they play a oh god, this is the first I've played in a couple days. Since I guess yesterday afternoon, and I wanted to leave up Deputy for Chord, and then I just went and attacked. Like, these are when I was talking about the deck a little while ago, there's just a bunch of things that you always need to keep in mind when you're playing this deck. And the fact that I just tapped my Deputy is going to set me back, because now I can't Chord for 3. And I would really like to be able to Chord for 3. To at least start the chain, get the Eternal Witness going, potentially get... well, anyhow, at this point, I can either bounce... The opponent's really slow. Could bounce a land with Cryptic, but I think just leaving Cryptic up to just counter something like a Titan is probably good. Night of Autumn, also decent. Everybody's clapping around me right now for the medical workers. A little bit distracting, but it's all good. Well, double cryptic seems decent in this spot. So now I probably don't want to attack. I could attack with like one of my guys, I guess. Although just go straight getting Restoration Angel seems reasonable. Although the combo of getting Eternal Witness first, I guess it... Then you can blink the Eternal Witness with Restoration Angel. But I don't think I want to play anything here. I think Eternal Witness is probably the way to go, so I guess I'll just get in with Deputy. And now, I mean, in all likelihood, I'm just going to cast the Cryptic on something like a Titan right now, if they play the castle that we know about. Can you guys hear any of the clapping? I don't think you can because of the nature of the microphone, but people are. Oh, this is cool too. They have to go through Summoner's Pact. So I'm definitely going to let that resolve. If they, I guess they can't really play Cavern and cast the Primeval Titan right now, so they have to go Castle Garenbrig. All right, so now they're going to have to pay for that pact. Should have lots of time. Counter and... I mean, we've got so many cards in hand. Could just counter and like bounce their Valakut or something like that. Not sure how much that slows them down though necessarily. I kind of like it though. Wait, hang on a sec. I think I just chose to bounce my own land. Counter target spell, return target permanent. Also, learning how to use Cryptic Command has taken me a little while. There's a lot of modes and such, as you know. Oh, bounce 2 forest? Well, they've got 3 green sources on the battlefield. But you're right, that would have been a good line. Should have thought about that. So, as far as attacks go here, again, we probably just want to... I guess, no, if they have to pay 4, right? I can just bounce any of their lands at this point, and I think I just win. Oh, guys, I changed the stream settings. The resolution should be at 720 right now, so maybe you guys can confirm that for me. It used to be at 1080, and I got some complaints that it was like the resolution was just too high, and a lot of people couldn't handle it with their internet connection. Please let me know if any of you guys have any connectivity problems. So yeah, I think that should kind of do a good job there. Opponent just conceded. All right, so that worked. It was a good line to just bounce the Valakut. I had forgotten momentarily about the Summoner's Pact. Sometimes when I jump in right at first, I'm not playing as tightly as I should. Things that I overlooked there was in playing the Astrolabe instead of the birds on turn 1, and then I just momentarily forgot about the Summoner's Pact. Bouncing a land was good because they can't pay for the pact with only 3 lands, so we got there. All right, so I guess Kale is saying that the stream keeps buffering. So DV, do you find the same problem? Can other people is your guys' stream buffering all the time? Because it's possible the settings are on my side, but I haven't gotten any complaints about that. So as for sideboarding against this matchup, I don't really have a lot. I guess Stonehorn is reasonable. I That was a really, really slow game out of Amulet Titan. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I think most people it was fine at 1080, but I've seen some other streamers like just sort of default at 720, and as an affiliate on Twitch, I don't actually have the option for my streamers to always adjust. Like, can you guys, if you choose, can you go down to like 480, or is it not even giving you the option to do that? Let's see. Maybe I can go down 1 on Thin Ice if I'm bringing in 1 Stonehorn. I think, pretty much just try to do what we just did. Get something like Deputy or Knight on their Amulet or their Dryad. And then Cryptic was obviously really excellent there. I don't think that they're really on Engineered Explosives anymore. So I don't know that Collector Oof or Phyrexian Revoker would really do anything. Yeah, so that's one of the weird things that Twitch does in order, I guess, to encourage people to go all out and become, I think they call it partner tier streamers. It's really just people who stream for a living. And the way I think it works is if they have the bandwidth or something, it'll give my streamers the option to downsample to like 480. This looks pretty good. We'd like to hit some lands, but we're 4/5 of the way to Yorion, and got some mana fixing with Abundant Growth. Turn 1 birds, turn 2 birds wall, I guess. I think the opponent is mulliganing to 6. So for those of you who didn't see my little intro earlier, this is basically just Bant, except the opponent just passed through their first turn. It's unfortunate. I guess we're both not really tightened up yet. Maybe they kept a 0 lander on the play, which would be a little bit weird. Maybe they're just flexing. Like they don't... Oh, I guess they did keep a 0 lander. That's kind of a bummer. So we got choices here. But I think ramp is obviously good. If I hit a land, I can just cast Yorion next turn. So I'll get blue. We'll go wall. And birds. We could actually present some kind of clock if this guy doesn't draw any lands. If we draw another land, we could just cast Yorion. I don't know what this guy's doing. I've never heard of keeping a no land 6 on the play. So apologies to the viewers. Not the most entertaining matches. Opponent, oh, they kept the bounce land. You can't really play that profitably. So we do want to draw cards. Uro is a decent one, but we want to play things that we can actually bounce with Yorion. So I'm going to play we've got Venser that can just bounce their land, but we don't have any clock or anything at this point. So get down more goodies for Yorion to get value off of. That was a nice land to draw. And we'll play the, at this point, I don't know. I guess I might as well just play the wall. Keep things rolling. A 2-drop would be awesome. Okay. So next turn, we're set to get a whole bunch of value off of Yorion, and the opponent is set to play their first land. Hopefully. All right, I guess I'm not presenting any threat to him yet, so no reason for them to scoop at this point. But not much reason for them to stay in it either, I guess. Kiki. Red, red, red. See, this is kind of how this deck works, is we have so much mana fixing between Astrolabes and Abundant Growth that I can actually cast Kiki right now if I want to. I've also got I've got a Stomping Grounds in my hand. So Kiki Jiki, play Oro, copy Oro. I can't play both of them this turn. That would be too good. I think I'm just going to play Yorion. And we'll sort of see how it goes. Yeah, I'm not even going to take too much time. The opponent is just chilling out over there. So we're going to draw 3 cards off of this, get a 4/5 flyer. Yeah, I'm pretty new to playing with Kiki Jiki, so I often forget that the legendary clause. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say done. And pass the turn. Okay, attach the aura. They get a bunch of triggers. You have to click them all. All this stuff takes time. Okay, we have to pitch something. On Thin Ice seems like it might not be super necessary. Astrolabe, we've got our mana sorted. Doesn't really matter at this point what I pitch, I don't think. All right, well, I think we've got that covered. So here, I think I've got so much mana. 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and attack, I guess. I can bounce their land with Venser. Yeah, bouncing their land, I can't really see too much wrong with that line. Then I've got 3 mana up, and I can deputy the. This is fun. Still not the fastest clock in the world, but Kiki Jiki on Venser next turn. Oh, it's a legendary again. That's unfortunate. Okay, opponent scoops. So yeah, this is nice warm-up stuff, I guess. I don't expect too many props for that one. Yeah, that was that was gold fishing pretty much. Don't know if this is what was my opponent's name last time. Is this the same guy? Do we want to play against the same deck? No, it's a different guy. So if he's still there, we'll play against them. Oh, he's gone. So well. Replay points. Honestly, I've been getting pretty good opening hands with this particular build. When I was running black, I felt like the mana was a little bit weird. That was before adding Abundant Growth, so I'm sure that 4 colors could be supported with 4 Astrolabes, 4 Abundant Growths. I mean, Spike and Gabe Nassif, I've obviously been running the Red Splash, excuse me, with I think like no Abundant Growths, but I think they're running like 8 Dorks or something like that. So still have a lot of mana fixing with their 4 colors. I've just got the 4 Dorks, but between the 4 Growths and the 4 Astrolabes, like colors are just like it really doesn't matter what spells I want to cast. Lands always have me covered. All right, still waiting for a an opponent to join us. How are you guys doing? Anything new and exciting in your lives? I've just been inside mostly. I did take a walk to the grocery store a few days ago. Oh, it's so sad. For my work, I walk around and I teach piano lessons. I tend to walk like multiple miles every day, and I haven't taken a walk like that in, I guess it's got to be like 2 months now or something since this whole lockdown, maybe a month and a half. So I'm gonna get some pretty bonkers like Charlie horses when I start walking like mile after mile as soon as I go back to work. I'm also a rock climber. Most of my climbing gets done in the gym, but I do go like 3 days a week, and I spend hours there every single time. So just starting to feel weak and fat and lazy. All right, we found somebody. Okay, we won the die roll. Set up our window here and try to play generally pretty snappy. Try to stay ahead on time. All right, opponent is... I don't know what the opponent is doing here. This is a weird hand. Weird. We've got an answer to whatever they play on turn 1, but then obviously we're just kind of... We also have 2 draws between now and our next turn. So a lot of 2-drops, a lot of 3-drops we could draw. Do have removal. And Cryptic is just such gas. It's kind of a weird hand. I don't typically love keeping hands without 2-drops. We can go like Island, Blue, and then play Canopy Vista untapped. You know what? I mean, also, Chord is a little bit weird without any creatures. It's obviously suboptimal. But, you know, the deck has a bunch of creatures in it. I think I'll keep it. I'll get punished. Let's see how it goes. Don't really want to draw so many more lands right now, so I can see just playing the Misty Rainforest for a like an island or something. Make the opponent think that I'm on Urza or something. Okay, well, that will at least let us cast the Cryptic if we still have it in hand by our 4th turn. Well, white looks good. We might want to on Thin Ice something. All right, so it's humans, I guess. Well, or it could be any number of things. It could be Eldrazi and Taxes. It could be regular Death and Taxes. Knight was a really good draw there. Fortunately, don't really have anything we can do here. So I'm going to want to curve into this Canopy Vista, so I guess I'll just do it this way. Opponent still thinks I'm on, you know, some kind of Urza build, probably. Drawing singletons like Knights in opportune situations is always a very nice feeling. Opponent's going to play like Meddling Mage and name Knight of Autumn. That would be like... I would just concede. If they're watching my stream or something. Are they going to name Urza or something? That would be such value. Or like Emery or something like that. Okay, Thalia I can deal with. Okay, all right. We're going to be able to cast Yorion at some point this game. If I play this, I can play a blue source next turn and still have Cryptic up. The mana base has just been so smooth in this deck. They could easily have a 1-drop, which would be not amazing for us, but this is still pretty great. Slow their roll, and all right, no 1-drop. That's awesome. We're going to take a bit of a hit from Thalia. Maybe opponent only has 2 lands. Maybe that's hoping for too much. A lot of basics. Wow. Okay, this could be okay, yeah, there we go. Humans. Champion followed up by what? Meddling Mage, naming what? Path, Soulherder. I can't play Cryptic on curve because of Thalia, but I can still make some plays next turn. Okay, they named Uro. That's a reasonable name. On Thin Ice, on Champion is, I think I mentioned this at the beginning. Yeah, they could have named Yorion. I don't want to say it multiple ways. Yorion is how I'm going to say it. Yo-yo is how I'm going to say it. So at this point, Thalia is always annoying because you have to keep in mind that her effect is there. You start thinking about chord and you do your math, but then it's very easy. Oh, they named Uro. Good for you, opponent. All right. So as I mentioned, Cryptic not quite online yet. So we can on thin ice something. Probably the champion. Play a birds. Just get a land with this Misty. And then once we draw our 5th land, we can potentially blink the on thin ice, reset the champion. Yeah, Yorion is pretty much always the, like you always want to name the opponent's companion with Meddling Mage. People were talking about, things that are better in the metagame now that companion is a thing. And Meddling Mage is his stock has definitely risen. Because he gets to just, shut off your companion. Now, most Lurrus decks, I should probably attack here since I'm not going to block. Actually, I would block the Meddling Mage, so let's chill on defense a little bit. Okay, against humans, you like to see them hit their 4th land drop. Means they're not just sitting on 4 Mantis Riders, maybe just 1 Mantis Rider. Okay, Yorion obviously lines up pretty well against Mantis Rider. So we are going to crack our fetch, start thinking about our next line. Since we got our basics, we probably, you don't want to fetch for your Tangle lands. You want to just get out your shocks. So here we want to get blue for sure. Maybe blue-green is what the doctor ordered in this spot. Need a lot of green for chord, and I need a lot of blue for cryptic. Opponent doesn't have any caverns. You could potentially start crypticing things. Can block this Mantis Rider in a pinch with a birds, but I do get to cast Yorion now, and I can blink a bunch of stuff. Decent. Opponent getting punished for not naming my companion. Now I don't really want to attack. Typically, you want to keep your attacks in mind before you cast Yorion. Not the most bonkers Yorion trigger that the world has seen. Still pretty solid. Because the question here is, what do we want to take? But let's get all of our triggers resolved first. Well, it's going to be one of the triggers, I guess. We could hit the mage if we want to cast. So let's see here. I have to attach this to something. I mean, just hitting the Mantis Rider seems reasonable, right? The Thalia is kind of obnoxious, but the Mantis Rider is actually, I don't know. Hitting Thalia seems fine. Mantis Rider is covered, unless they have. I'm gonna hit the Mantis Rider. Just seems like the biggest, most annoying creature right now. I'll put some counters on this guy. All right, it was a decent turn. I've got a handful of cards. Opponent's starting to get lower. This champion can grow, of course, but at least it's a ground creature that we can, line up blocks against more easily. I mean, the best thing would be if the opponent, just has another land, and Maybe another Ether Vial. We can also aggressively Cryptic for the aggro win. We've got 8 power on board. Okay, are we reflector majoring Yorion? It doesn't seem so bad for us. I don't know. Be pretty bold to attack here, I think. All right, so they're still naming Uro, which is remarkably good. So they've got Thalia. Let's keep her in mind. We can currently Chord with Thalia out for a 3-drop, which means we can get Eternal Witness and then get back Chord potentially. Next turn we can cast. Well, also just leaving up Cryptic, countering something and tapping their team seems fine. We've got 5 mana for that. Maybe I just play Birds and then just waltz into another Yorion cast. All right, good to see that that's not a cavern. Maybe they have a second Reflector Mage. Try to clear out the board for a bit of attacks. All right, they're casting a Freebooter. Oh, something bigger and badder, I guess. What could this be? Oh, I've seen this guy around. This is a great card to counter, actually. Returning the Meddling Mage wouldn't do anything because they could just recast it. So I think they didn't attack last time, so I can't see them attacking this time. But I won't be greedy, I don't think. I can tap their team now. Maybe get in for a bit of damage next turn. Yeah, I can't take all day. Maybe not the best, but we'll see. What's the follow-up? Noble Hierarch? Oh, this is obnoxious. Okay, so now they're going to name Yorion. But I can Chord for Deputy, which seems pretty good. And then we just have to hope that they don't top deck another Reflector Mage. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, Chord for Deputy and chill. We can also play a wall and then go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Play a wall, draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have to pay 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to. Could also just do the same thing next turn, but why wouldn't I just wait for this? If I'm gonna basically tap out, like. Yeah, I think I'll just chill on it. I don't really want to lure attacks, so I probably won't get in with the Knight of Autumn here. Because if they get in with the Champ, which they probably will, I'm not really going to block. Or maybe I would trade with the Knight, I don't know. But either way, I'm just going to pass the turn here. Oh, well, I don't know if I can Chord for Lavinia yet. I need 1 more to Chord for Lavinia with Thalia on the table. This is game 1. Don't quite have that yet. So I'm going to pass the turn here. So got to be a little bit aware of the clock. Opponent cycling their Horizon Canopy, 2 cards in hand, 3 mana available. Unclaimed territory, still no, maybe this is a budget list. Maybe they don't have caverns, or maybe they're just not drawing them. So I think I just want to Cryptic that. Cryptic for 5. Still can't really do anything after that. All right, so at this point we could potentially start looping Cryptic, which is pretty nice if we draw something like a an Eternal Witness. All right, so this lets me go get Lavinia if I want to. But I feel like I could just get some defense down, and then Chord for Deputy, start playing my spells. Path is a decent one, obviously. So I think I just pass here, see what I can get the opponent to do. Now it's just about like the clock, basically. I feel. Well, that was I can just path this guy right now. It's not actually. He's going to look at my hand, but he doesn't actually get to take anything. Oh, actually, no. He gets to take Chord. This is. I have to think about this because if I use this, then I have to tap out right now for Chord in response to this, which I don't love. I have to pay 2 for this. Hang on a second. I think I just go and do what I was going to do. The flyer's not a big deal because I can play Yorion once I Yorion. So he'll take the path here. Okay, but now we can cast Yorion and Uro next turn, which seems like it should be pretty game-winning. Got decent blocks lined up here. If the opponent wants to attack, I'll probably just trade with, yeah. Okay. Resto is an interesting one. Yorion is 5, Resto is 4. Can't quite do that. Could just hold up Resto. Okay, opponent just scoops. So that's generally sort of how the humans matchup has felt. We bring in Stonehorn. I like bringing in these guys just to be kind of obnoxious with Aether Vial. Auriok Champion can be decent, just to gain a bunch of life. There is that new General card that they play that is black and a ground creature that this can actually interact with. I mean, Thrun here, they're not going to counter anything, but I don't know. I think it seems like our value plan is just fine. I don't think the opponent realized they should have named Yorion before I cast it that game. So having Stonehorn and Lavinia, I found to be really strong in the matchup. Obviously, all the removal is really good. If I'm bringing in If I'm bringing in Collector Oof, I typically shave some number of Astrolabes, if not just all of them. Because all of our creatures are pretty good. Venser's a little bit slow, but it's still kind of interaction. Cryptic was pretty good. Parcel Beast. Decent blocker. I'm going to go grab the cable from my phone. I think it's going to die. All right, and I'm going to do my best to not time out. Okay, this looks decent-ish, right? If we get to blow up their Ether Vial like the first game. Wow, all these random pop-ups, get out of here. All right, no one drop whatsoever. Interesting. All right, well, you know, things looking okay for us here. Could just go Wall of Omens, tapped Canopy Vista. All right, so Cavern of Souls going to make our Cryptic somewhat less powerful. Is this going to be Meddling Mage? Naming Yorion? All right, Thalia, that's fine. Obviously, Eternal Witness, not great now, but really good later. I think just nabbing Thalia seems fine, right? Pretty strong play. Also, just getting a wall down seems strong. Like, let's see what they play, and then Deputy as necessary. Let me play my wall first. If I draw like an Astrolabe, I'll probably just play the island. I took out all my Astrolabes, so that's probably not going to happen. Well, Path, things are going our way. Trogdor, I think Nassif probably said it best. He said if you're not playing, at this point, not playing 80 cards would probably just be a mistake. Starting with a 5-drop bomb every game in your hand is really, really good. Is the opponent going to Reflector Mage my Wall of Omens is the question. No, it looks like they're just going with the Flying Beats. But we can Deputy that next turn. That seems reasonable. Hold up Deputy, and unfortunately won't be able to hold up Path because of Thalia. Okay, well, these are all very good cards. Unfortunately, Deputying the Mantis Rider, if they then have a Reflector Mage, it still has haste, which is kind of obnoxious. I mean, I could just play Knight of Autumn and gain life. Seems reasonable. I could also just play a Knight of Autumn and just like jam up the ground to just increase the bodies on the battlefield and make Chord better. Yeah, and then if they Reflector Mage it, it doesn't really matter because it's just value. I think I did that wrong. Interesting that I have 0 cards in my graveyard right now. Normally I start out with a bunch of fetches. Hey Swizzy, welcome to the stream. Playing against humans, 1 game 1, a little bit behind on the clock. I could start playing a little bit faster. I just played out a Knight of Autumn. I'm anticipating like a Reflector Mage or something, and wouldn't love to have my Deputy get bounced, only to like return the Mantis Rider to the battlefield. With Thalia out, I can't cast Path, which is a bummer. So let the opponent, do their thing here. Mirren Crusader. Well, we've got our wall for that. That's pretty nice. Does have double strike. We could get that with Deputy if we feel like that's more important. All right, you're going to take 3 here. Okay. This is what you like to see against humans, is nice slow burn. All right, so now we can just double path, which just seems bonkers. Can't see myself doing anything else. And then we can start Eternal Witness pathing. Pretty soon we're going to have Chord online. As things stand, I can only Chord for 2. Not that amazing, but once we can get like Deputy, gets pretty nutty. All right, I can't see them having any kind of instant speed response to path, so just pass it back their way. Meddling Mage goes on the stack. I'm just going to shoot off these paths real quick. If I drew a land, I could have gone just Yorion there, which would have been, as always, pretty good. Oh, this is that new general guy that they're trying to cast. I think he's actually pretty good. Like, let's take a look at it real quick. Other humans get +1/+1. Whenever another human enters battlefield, exile target card from... Okay, sacrifice, destroy... Okay, we don't have any creatures that fit that bill, so we're safe for the time being. But it is a lord, so let's let it come down. And is this going to be a phantasmal image? It is. All right. So let's see here. I've got to think sort of carefully. This guy's legendary, so they're not going to copy him. Mantis Rider would give him an option. Don't think it matters too much here. All right, so it's a lot of damage. We have ways to deal with it, obviously. I liked the line of pathing Thalia so that I can go get Eternal Witness, cast Eternal Witness, and just path next turn as well. They did just play out a bunch of heat here, though. I could choose to just Chord for a snake. Doesn't have Death Touch. All right, so... I could just kill both Mantis Riders, and then this is double striking 3. So this is more power than a Mantis Rider currently. I can also just Deputy the Mantis Riders next turn. Double path, then later target the image one with Deputy. Yeah, that seems pretty safe, because I was saying I don't like the fragility of Deputy getting like Reflector Mage, and then they get like a Mantis Rider and a Phantasmal Image back. Let's see how many basics this guy has. Okay, he's got a bunch of them. So I take 4. They are down to 1 card in hand. They do have a Horizon Canopy on the battlefield. Another Chord, a little bit sketchy, but I'm just going to go with the line. I do like that line quite a lot. Just pop there. And then if I cast Yorion, I get to blink Deputy. That's insane. The walls, as always, doing an amazing job holding back potential attackers. This guy can, when humans enter the battlefield, he can exile cards from my graveyard. So if we draw a land, I mean, it's amazing for us. As long as we don't just die right now. Opponent looks like they're digging pretty hard. It's good for us. Gonna be fine just taking 3 as things stand. We're up to the point where we can chord even through Thalia. Reflector Mage. He's gonna bounce my wall, I guess. Okay. Let's see what happens. This is game 2. I won game 1. This guy can sacrifice humans to destroy big creatures. He also exiles things from the graveyard. Okay, bouncing my wall. It's kind of a cool play. Definitely not blocking with the birds. I don't love taking 6 here, but so much value if... Okay, no attacks at all. That seems curious. Okay, there we go. Stabilization. I could also just path something, but I mean, whatever. Can't see how this loses. Opponent can't even cast anything because of Thalia, even if they had a path in hand. Okay, this guy's just gonna, guess, get big. And Deputy will peace out this guy. All their creatures get smaller, and it should be pretty good for the time being. Opponent does have 3 cards in hand, which is a little bit frightening. Looks like they're drawing a lot of lands. Yeah, no attack is very odd. I don't know why. I even said out loud I was just like ready to take 6 damage. Another Reflector Mage. Okay, well, that doesn't do anything. Remember, I've got Eternal Witness into Path next turn. Ether Vial. Oh, God. Poor opponent. Don't attack. And yeah, okay. Cryptic. We've got 4, 5. Got 9 power on board. It's a 2-turn clock. Can also chord for 4 at this point, which is just we can go get, like, it doesn't even matter what I'm getting. I know what my line is. I was talking about Stonehorn Dignitary. So, like, to play wall or hold up path, it doesn't really matter at this point. Wall, wall seems pretty good. I don't know. They got 1 card in hand. I'll just hold up path. Yes, Magistrate, that's what it's for. It's to turn off companions. I mean, it turns off a lot of stuff. It turns off Cascade. It turns off Suspend. It turns off Rebound. Okay. Thalia's Lieutenant. Got it. That usually comes down once they've got all the creatures that they want down, so... Attacks, no attacks. This guy wants to attack. And that guy attacks, and this guy attacks. That's cool. So I'm sort of getting tired of Thalia. I think I'll path her. Maybe trade with the knight. Oh no, I can just eat this guy. That seems better. And then take 3. Deal. Do they have a 5th basic? I'm going to say no. And they don't. So remember, we have, I guess, 12, 11 power on board right now. 6 plus 5, 11. Not quite lethal. Just getting there. I could do so much stuff here. Cord is fully online now with Thalia gone. Just Cord for like Lavinia or something. Just make it so they can't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you know what? I think they have a cavern, so you know I'm not going to counter anything. Also not blocking with deputy, so let's do this. Oh, you know what? I might have just attacked past my, but now I can just Cord for Stonehorn. I'm so like it's such a new deck with Cord in it. Like you have to. You know, I could have also gotten like Restoration Angel. There's definitely optimal lines and optimal ways to time things, and it's like I don't know if I was here with my Soulherder knowledge, like, and that's like to get to that. The opponent conceded, so to get to that level with this deck, I'm like down here now. Cord is a really interesting card because you need to build out a board, so your math on like chumping gets different. Like a lot of times you'll be fine with this deck in the past, just sort of chump blocking early on. But now you might not want to do that because you've got to maintain density for Court of Calling. It's kind of weird, but sometimes you might want to chump so that you get stuff in the graveyard for Uro. So yeah, so that was a pretty easy one. Maybe not as easy as the Amulet match that we played before that. If I didn't attack with the Deputy, which was a little bit unnecessary, I could have gotten Lavinia, which would have even turned off their Ether Vial, but only for their turn. Lavinia is interesting in that you can't stack her triggers. Like it's always going to say until your next turn. So you could do it 8,000 times, and then when your next turn comes, Lavinia's effect goes away. But Stonehorn, you can ephemerate him 10 times, and then they'll miss 10 attack steps. So, Lavinia is better for some things. Stonehorn is better for other things, and this looks pretty playable. We'll keep this. We're gonna go blue-white into green into whatever. Okay, opponent's keeping. They do not have Lurrus in their deck, despite having Lurrus as their avatar. Opponents with weird, slow openings. Double Eternal Witness. I mean, it's nice, but it's a little slow. We do have tons of 1-drops in the deck at this point. What is going on? Red deck with no plays on the first 2 turns. I guess I'll get a shock here. It looks like I'm gonna probably be taking some damage, but then I do need to get my basics online as we go. So as I said, blue-white. So let's get that Hallowed Fountain. Okay. Eternal Witnesses are exerting their presence. They're making their presence felt. Gruul Charm. I couldn't even tell you what Gruul Charm does. Stomp. Got me, opponent. 2 damage to my dome. All right, well, we're hitting lands. That Cryptic, I do need to get some fixing or some blue going on. I wanted to get basics, but that might not be in the cards. Oh, basics actually might be really important. Oh, am I going to get wrecked right here? Okay, well that's better than what I was expecting. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not great for us, but but Blood Moon would be worse. So I'm gonna aggressively get my basics right now. Oh my god. Well, I guess I can't aggressively get basics because Parcel Beast is so good. Yeah, Parcel Beast activates even with red mana, so forget it. I'm just getting another blue source. Blue source, here I come. I'll get my, like, I guess maybe the only one I can get right now is Breeding Pool. Down to 13. But if this guy lives, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the value of the Parcel Beast. Like, they could, I guess they could cast, like, Glorybringer is a 5-drop or a 4-drop? I forget. I want to say 5 drops. 5-drop 4/4 that deals 4 if you exert it, right? Oh, Bloodbraid, we can block that thing. Block it and kill it. Yeah, we got this Bloodbraid covered. Look how good Parcel Beast lines up against Bloodbraid. It's like, it's so insane. What is this revealed zone? They revealed, why did they reveal something? Oh, I guess that was one of the things that they cascaded through? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That's kind of weird. They don't have a Chandra in their hand, right? It just says reveal, right? I've never seen that before. Do they or don't they have a Chandra in their hand? And why would that have been revealed? I guess they have to reveal. So anyhow, I'm going to assume they don't have this Chandra. Well, that lets us get basics, which is pretty nice. We do have to watch our life total a little bit. We don't want to play a 3-drop here because we want to activate Parcel Beast if possible. So blue, trying to get Cryptic online seems good. Also, just getting a basic seems pretty good. I can activate, don't want to activate Parcel Beast now. Uro to ramp out seems decent. Yeah, Uro seems decent. To ramp out, pay 2 life. And then I've got mana up for Parcel Beast. So let's see. As I said, blue. Although maybe even white would have been good there. That was interesting. No, I can't cast Astrolabe now, but I wouldn't have wanted to do that anyway. All right, so we're hanging in there, trying to get things going. This Astrolabe, if we draw land next turn, would turn Cryptic online. Is this another Bloodbraid, or is it just Chandra? In which case, like, I don't know why Chandra was revealed. Oh, they do have 5 mana here, so this could be the flyer, which might get us. This is generally a good matchup, but our hand, as you can see, is a little bit clunky. Okay, so Klothys we can generally deal with. Because we can gain life whenever we want, pretty much. Like, I am going to block here, and if they have a Bolt to finish off my Parcel Beast, he did his job, preventing 6 damage and drawing a card. Or just, oh, it's so good. It's so good! We can go Yorion soon, but I don't think it's quite time yet. We have flying blockers at instant speed against Storm Breath now, or not Storm Breath, but the other stupid card. So I could also just cast Uro. Like, the world is my oyster here. I've got Cryptic online. I feel like get Astrolabe down, hold up Cryptic, and Ice Fang, and we should be pretty good. Opponent can eat Uro though, so I feel like Uro might be the call here. We've got green, green, blue, blue. It would still potentially leave up a land. Just want to get this. This is actually going to make it so that they can't exile anything. At least not from our graveyard. So hitting a land here would be sensational. Okay, we didn't get it, but you can't ask for everything. I'm definitely just going to leave up a Parcel Beast activation. Yeah, this hand is just getting kind of ridiculous. Okay, we're going to take 2 from Klothys. They're working on their devotion here. Opponent looking like they've got like lower drops, like not really seeing them tap that Utopia Sprawl land. Like, let's see. Okay, 4 mana. Oh, 5 mana. Ugh, okay. I think it's time for the Glorybringer. All right, well, we've still got Uro. We can gain life. They can finally ping our Parcel Beast here, but you saw how much work this guy did. Like, he prevented 6 damage and I think drew 2 cards. Or maybe just 1 card, but he's going to draw another one here. Hopefully just put a land on the battlefield. Oh, Klothys is alive now. That's unfortunate. Okay, so wise to leave up Parcel Beast here. Okay, we will go ahead and activate. This guy's indestructible. That's sick. We hit a land. So that means we're just going to eat this Bloodbraid Elf here. Opponent could be slow rolling a land into a bolt, which would be kind of obnoxious. But I can't. Maybe that's actually what they're doing, and kudos to the opponent if that's the play. Okay, that's not what they had. I think we're going to stay on the basics plan for the time being. Although, yeah, I don't know. All right, 6 lands. They've got this. We can blow up their Utopia Sprawl if we want. We can also cast Yorion. Yorion seems really good here. Definitely attacking, so I might as well start with that. This guy's on an adventure. Did you guys see that? I like that. I like that text. So flavorful. I'm on an adventure. Hitting lands like a boss. So, I mean, I could do a bunch of stuff. I could hold up Cryptic. Could play this and blow up. I can blow up Utopia Sprawl and hold up Cryptic. It seems pretty solid. Get some value. I want to get value on the battlefield and then cast Yorion. Obviously, Eternal Witness, a decent choice as well. Eternal Witness getting back Parcel Beast. I feel like the Astrolabes are more important than getting Knight of Autumn down. Like, I could still hold up Cryptic and play a bunch of Astrolabes here. Oh my god. And then just totally be set. So at this point, I can cast... yeah, let's just go nuts. I don't know. I just play 3 Astrolabes. Path is a good one. Yeesh. So now I think I might be set. Just hold up Cryptic and Path, and then this game is kind of over. Can pitch one of these Eternal Witnesses. It's kind of a bummer, but just fuel for the Uro. Well, Klothys is still gonna eat stuff from my graveyard. It's kind of you know what? Actually, I guess I can counter if they try to like kill me with damage with like bolts and stuff. All right, so I'm going to 6, right? So double bolt would get me. We do have a Cryptic to defend against that. Bloodbraid Elf into what? Into Lightning Bolt. Oh, look at this, revealing all of their. Okay, now this would be pretty good. Well, I guess it is sort of decent. I'm gonna counter. You know what? Hang on. Can't let it resolve. I'm gonna counter this, and then when this guy wakes up, I'm gonna path that guy. I'm gonna take 3 from Bloodbraid and hope that. Or you know what? Hold on. I can tap down their attack, which does the same thing. Here I want to counter this and what? Counter and bounce. Clothis also seems okay. Counter draw, and then I want to path Clothis, but also I could just bounce Clothis. No, I do want to path Clothis when he's alive. So let's actually take 3 from Lightning Bolt and counter the Bloodbraid Elf. Counter this. I mean, if they have another bolt, am I just dead? I think I might be. Because they have another bolt. If I counter this bolt, they have another bolt, and then I take 3 from... No, hang on a second. I think it's correct to counter the bolt. No, I want to deal with Clothis. I don't really want them to be able to play it again. So I'm going to counter this and draw a card. And then I'm going to path Clothis. Path Bloodbraid Elf. No, wait, if I path Bloodbraid Elf, it will actually just take Clothis out of combat. But I want Clothis out of the picture. But I've got so much life gain and whatnot. I haven't drawn an Ephemerate all night. I'm going to play this a little bit safe here. I'm going to path the Bloodbraid to take Clothis out of combat and then just gain some life next turn. I'll get to Clothis. I can also just get path back with Eternal Witness. Also, we're just waiting for Yorion at this point, right? Sounds like a bad movie, Waiting for Yorion. All right, so let's go to attacks. And then I've definitely got to path this Glorybringer. God, these lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would love to leave up Ice Fang, so I'll just pass here. Actually, yeah, I'll just pass here. Where are my Ephemerates? Yeah, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You got it, opponent. Well done. Let's path this dummy. The opponent's going to get to Glory Bring something. He's going to get to Glory Brought something. But it's sort of okay, because I'm just going to block it with Ice Fang. So, what are we targeting here, opponent? All right, you got it. It's definitely Yorion time here. Oh, the that guy's gone. He's dead. I've got all my mana now. Come on, let's go. Oh, hang on. Cancel. Messed that up. Sorry, guys. I forgot that Magus of the Moon's effect is gone now, so I just go get my lands. Play some stuff. Do some things. I'm gonna lose to time. Not this game, but maybe next game. Okay. Done. I gotta stack all my triggers. Like such a time sink. Eternal Witness gets back path again, and this guy is just gonna gain some life. Why not? Yep. And then F6, I guess. We're gonna have to discard probably. Okay, just about not discarding. Opponent with the 6-drop. Double Magus of the Moon or something like that. Okay. All right. So I'm pretty sure I have lethal here. So let's just deal with these guys. Okay. I'd love to end the game with no permanents on their side of the board, but I'll have to settle for lands, I guess. Come on. There we go. That game took entirely too long. It took half my time, which means I cannot lose even one game. Yeah. Parcel Beast is really good. I was thinking for a little while, like maybe it's just doing like more of stuff that we're already doing. Like maybe we don't have to, we don't need all that value, right? But isn't that exactly what we want? Like, don't we want just like to draw as many cards as possible, basically? And so it could be correct to run 4 Parcel Beasts in some kind of list like this. It's just such a good card. I'm not really set up for this matchup. I could go like Auriok Champion, though double white with the potential for like Magus to the Moon and stuff like that could be a little bit rough. These guys have pro red, so they hold down the fort against, like Blood Braids pretty well. Also counters stuff like Chandra activations. I guess we can bring in a Revoker against Chandra. I don't know if this deck plays Karn. They might play Karn. Yeah, this deck is like super fun. I mean, even if you lose, it's still like super engaging and interesting. All right, let's focus. Stonehorn, it's kind of an aggro deck, right? It's bringing Stonehorn. Seems pretty good. All right, I'm gonna call it there. And then we have to start cutting some stuff. And I have to play like super fast. Now, all the Abundant Growths and Astrolabes are like the nuts in this matchup. I have to cut 6 cards. Deputy slows things down. Kind of like Deputy, even though it dies to a bolt. Knight, Soulherder dies pretty easily. Okay, got to work pretty fast here. I can cut Venser. Can trim I don't know, a chord. I'm going to trim Parcel Beast. I don't know. I like Parcel Beast. Trim a Cryptic. Pretty cut mana intensive things, right? 3 things left. Trim. I don't know. Deputy dies, so I'm going to trim Deputy. Maybe Knight is for Blood Moon, etc. I just cut all the Cryptics. They're pretty mana intensive. I like the combo, so I'll just trim one of these. I'll trim Auriok Champion because double white is pretty hard. I'll keep in the Burnt and Forged Tenders. All right, gotta win. Let's play. Beauty. Beauty. So I got 2 basics, a Dork, which hopefully they won't be able to bolt. I'm gonna keep opponent's mulliganing. We've got an Uro. If the bird doesn't die right away, I get to Uro. Pretty sick. Putting Parcel Beast on a Dork is not optimal. Opponent's mulliganing to 5. I wonder if they're trying to like juke me with this, with the Loris. Okay, they're on 5. Hopefully they don't have the bolt. Mulling to 5. If they do have the bolt, things are going to get slow. Oh, they did not keep a no-lander. You did not keep a no-lander. Okay. I've literally like never had an opponent not mulligan to like 2 and keep a, okay, Relic, whatever, I don't care. You can even exile Uro. Oh my god, this is getting better and better. At least they're not ramping. Are they going to activate right in? Okay, that's fine. Relic is a kind of obnoxious because it takes time off the clock. Okay, we play our birds. We try to dodge the bolt, and I'm going to play an Uro next turn. All we want to draw are lands. Ah. All right, well, we've got the Abundant Growth. And they have another land. Good for you, opponent. Down to 2 cards, though. All right, Abundant Growth number 1 lets us cast Abundant Growth number 2. All right, come on, lands. Open it up a little bit for us, please. Super set against Blood Moon effects at this point. We've got spells we can cast. We can strap something on Parcel Beast onto somebody. I feel like getting Wall down early would be best. Opponent not cracking, probably trying to draw a 3rd land. Failing that, they've got Cinder Vines. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage, they can sack it to destroy an enchantment. And then it deals 2 damage. Fine, you got it, opponent. Okay, let's open with Wall, I think. Wall is a great target for Parcel Beast because missing a 3rd land, rough. But Ephemerate, when we do draw a 3rd land, is gonna open us right up. The opponent can sack this to I take 1 damage. Yeah. Okay, another Cinder Vines. Sick. So Deputy is good against that. I take 2 damage for any of my non-creature spells. So Parcel Beast, not quite yet, I don't think. Although repeatable Parcel Beast could be pretty dope. Starting next turn, it doesn't draw a card right now because I don't have a land. But having access to it every turn, I think it seems pretty good. I'll go for it. And we can all marvel at how effect. Oh wait, I can't attack because it has Defender. All right, opponent gonna crack this Relic probably. Look for a land, or maybe not. He's thinking this Relic is really, really valuable. It's gonna blow up one of my Abundant Growths or something. Okay, Utopia Sprawl. All right, that's kind of like a land. Okay, nothing to cast though. Still 2 cards in hand. We are whiffing, so this is a time when you definitely want to just activate like main phase, I think. But it leaves me with, you know what? Well, Ephemerating this is actually pretty good at this point, so I activate it now. we say okay. And then I think just Ephemerate is kind of sick here because I can draw a card, P-Beats comes back down. I'm going to take 2 from Cindervines, but it's like, whatever. Draw a card, hopefully hit a land, did not. I have to discard a crap load of cards here. I think I'll just pitch the expensive stuff. So Lavinia, and I'm not going to be casting Chord for a while. So piece that out. Opponent's got 3 mana at this point. Ugh, weird just because we only hit 2 lands. Okay, Scavenging Ooze. They went hard on the graveyard hate, but, you know, we really don't care about that. You got it, opponent. All right. Do I want to take 2 more from these Cindervines? I guess I do, huh? Okay, we drew a land. Kind of a weird one. But I think we just... See, we cast Astrolabe and then like an Ice Fang. It's not going to have Death Touch yet. But I want to try to minimize my non-creatures. Oh, actually, I would like to do leave up Parcel Beast. So let's think quick. Just play another wall and leave up Parcel Beast. Okay, another land that comes in untapped next turn. I am going to have to discard something here, but I don't really care about that too much. Our mana's sorted, so I'm going to pitch Astrolabe. I don't want to take unnecessary damage from Cindervines. A Chord might be relevant, so I can go after their Cindervines with something like Deputy, but they could sack the Cindervines in response. They have to be tapped out for that. Clothis is kind of annoying. Again, really hard on the... Now Deputy for Cindervines would be pretty reasonable. They can't sack it because they need to pay to sack. Sick. Yeah, so I'm going to nab their Cindervines, turn Clothis back off. Although I can just nab Clothis. It seems like it might be better. Although Cindervines are continuing to ping me. I think nabbing the Cindervines is ultimately going to be better. It's going to take them off of Clothis Devotion. Hang on. Hang on. Come on. Oh, I took Deputy out. That's funny. That's funny. And by funny I mean stupid. So at this point, this is rough, huh? I guess just Soulherder. Soulherder value time. I have to stop casting non-creature spells. This Clothis is gonna get me, huh? Yeah, I know I could have knighted. It just seemed like it's better value to get Soulherder down. I'm going to lose to the opponent mulling to 5 and me having a really good hand because I whiffed on lands for like 4 turns. I don't know if opponent knows how pro red works, but I do. Okay, opponent doing their best. Okay. Man, these Cinder Vines are actually getting me. Not enjoying this. Okay. I'm going to take some damage here. That was why I played Uro. You got it, opponent. Not sure why they're responding this way. Okay, there we go. Now I've got Ice Fang and activation up. Okay, Soulherder grows. I can always prevent damage by sacking Forge Tender if I need to do that. So here I'm just going to pass. At this point, I can just blink Wall of Blossoms. At a certain point, we can just cast Yorion. That might just be next turn. Sorry if I'm not paying attention to chat. I know that I'm low on time, even though it doesn't look like dire right now. It's getting there. It's getting there. It does do 2 damage when they crack the Cinder Vines. I forgot about that. So I'm effectively at 4 here. Okay, Bloodbraid. I think we can handle that. Lightning Bolt, less so. Again, we have to watch out for the Cinder Vines. I think I'm actually going to sack the Forge Tender here. You know what? There's no rush on that. I can take 3 for the time being. Opponent with 2 mana up. Still have our Forge Tender. Come on, attack. Let's do it. Gonna hold off on sacking that. Oh, this Soulherder is gonna get ridiculously gigantic. Oh man. We can sack these Burntons to cancel damage, so that's actually pretty important. They can sack one of these right now. Let's see, 1. Okay, say okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I don't know. Like maybe I'm missing one, but don't want to time out. Oh wait. Come on. All these stupid triggers. Like, click, click. My system is not enjoying this. Man. Okay. Okay. Lavinia would be the best here, I guess. Not quite lethal, I don't think. 8-12, 8-9. Okay. You know what? I don't really know. I don't have enough time to really fuss with this stuff too much. Like I can't do 1,000 Yorion triggers to grow the Soulherder. And I also don't really. I guess I'm just drawing to like Lavinia or Cord. What's going on here? Discard. Oh, I should be attacking with Yorion in the air, of course. How about Parcel Beast, huh? Okay. So let's see. Oh God, that was ridiculous. I forgot about non-creature spells. It's been a while. And I'm going to take something from Cord if I go to get Lavinia. I need to gain some life. Where's my life gain at? Jesus, I'm going to lose this. All right, I think that the plan is basically top deck Lavinia or bust, and I'm just going to attack. Attack with Yorion every turn, and actually not. I guess I don't know. I guess I'll use Soulherder. It just takes time. It didn't even ask me about. Did I blink something? Oh, I blinked something with Soulherder already. So we've got that Cindervines on the board. We've got 2 Burrington Forge Tenders. Vigilance, Death Touch. Okay, I've got some. That's an. Huh? I know I'm taking damage. But I've got the Burringtons. Wait, what? All right, no more damage on non-creature spells. My system is not having a good time. I'm gonna go to attacks real quick. Opponent's gonna be a jackass. It's fine. I kind of know how to handle this a little bit. I should. Oh, I should probably just blink Stonehorn. I don't even want to. I don't honestly. I might just say, okay. These freaking triggers are gonna kill me. And I can't F6 because they can just cast a lightning bolt. Oh, wait. Now I can slow down. Now I can slow down. Oh no, wait, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I have to do it all my turn. Where is it? Oh my god, guys, I don't have it. I don't have. How do I not have Lavinia? I don't understand. Oh, am I gonna lose this now? This is so stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I can attack with all my flyers real quick, I guess. I ruined it. I don't know where Lavinia is. Like, it wasn't in the deck. And is it, oh, did it get exiled somehow? How did all these cards get exiled? I guess they must have gone into the graveyard at some point. God damn it. You have to actually click OK. It's so stupid. I say OK, OK, OK. And now I die to the Soulherder triggers. Oh my god, I can't even say OK. OK, 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 OK. Ugh, guys. How ridiculous. I didn't even get to do my damage, I don't think. Oh, they did go to 3. They did take some damage. Oh, well, that shows the downside of playing this deck is you leave yourself totally open to opponents sort of sniping like extra seconds when you're actually trying to, you know, to figure out what you want to do. I don't know at what point Lavinia went to the graveyard. Like, can we think a little bit about that? No, there is a shortcut for OK. It's like the most basic shortcut. It's just passing priority. It's just, I have it set to 2, but you can set it to anything. The problem is that certain things in the game, for whatever reason, like, and there is no reason, it's just really, really bad programming. There are certain OK moments when the shortcut OK doesn't actually work. Like when Uro triggers, and you put a land into play, you have to hit OK, I think, and it doesn't work. You can't actually hit the shortcut for OK. When you're lining up blocks like this, it asks you how you want to distribute damage, and it says OK, OK, OK. And you literally are not allowed to just hit OK, the shortcut. Oh my God, Jackie Chen, that's so funny. It was like, I discarded to hand size. That's insane. What a game. That would have been an easy win. I would have had like 30 seconds left on the clock if I could have gone and grabbed Lavinia. Wow, how random. I discarded Lavinia to hand size. So, I mean, in practice, this matchup seems kind of unlosable. You saw they played everything they wanted to play. They had Clothis. In game 1, they had a bunch of Blood Moons, or I guess Maguses of the Moons. We have walls that just block their attackers. We've got paths to deal with Clothis. We've got Deputy to deal with whatever. No, I didn't miss Kiki. When I corded, I got Resto. Like there was nothing else to get. So when I cast Cord, I got Resto. I was already tapped out. I couldn't have gotten back a Cord with an Eternal Witness at that point because I don't have mana for it. So I didn't have the mana. This is my mana. You see my mana, right? Or did I? I guess I could have. No, I can't crack this, right? Because I would go to 0, right? Oh God! I was thinking I had to do 3 mana and then start tapping creatures. I don't know that I could have done it in time. I have done the combo kill a bunch of times. Like, again, I'm a noob with Cord, and I have cast it, I think, with just creatures before. But for some reason, right now, I was just thinking I had to use mana for it. And I was under a minute, so like my brain was frying, and my system is also not happy, my computer, when it gets MTGO running with all of these objects. So yes, I could have gotten Kiki. If this was paper, we would have won many different ways, I guess. Even discovering that we didn't have the unblockable kill. I think so. I learned a couple things from this particular match, and I can go back to the deck and discuss it. So in that matchup, do not sideboard out cryptic commands because we get board stalls, right? I thought, well, I don't really need to counter their stuff. I can deal with it when it's on the board, no problem. And that was totally true. You guys saw that play out. I forgot about the importance of being able to sort of alpha strike. So keep the cryptics in for sure. I was kind of rushed with my sideboarding. That was only game 2 as well. And the only reason things are taking so long is because MTGO makes you stack all these triggers. Like, when I did Yorion and I drew like 6 or 7 cards or whatever, you have to click each individual trigger to put it on the stack. Like, it doesn't just auto stack. Like, it's like, okay, Astrolabe, Astrolabe, Abundant Growth, Wall of Blossoms, Wall of Blossoms. You have to click each of those. And if your system is like kind of half frozen because of MTGO being a crappy program, you have to click it again. And then you're not sure if it actually worked because it's lagging. And then you click all the other ones. So Yorion takes a lot of time clicking all of these triggers. Stuff takes forever. Well, I'm a little bit worked up. I'm actually not that distraught. It was only a Q. I should have won it. I just totally forgot that I randomly on like turn 3 discarded Lavinia to hand size. And then the opponent cracked their relic and they were able to obviously exile my graveyard. So anyhow, keep cryptics in the deck post board. Easy peasy. That's something. I think I sideboarded out 1 chord or something like that, but chord actually seems really, really good. Parcel Beast is nutty, right? Like maybe it's the real question is, does it help in the matchups that we need help against, right? And so if we looked at, I don't know if you guys were keeping track, but in that second game against Ponza just now, Parcel Beast activated like 8 times. It was like every turn from like turn 3, it was activating and slowing down their attacks. Like they couldn't attack into it for a while. So amazing blocks, repeated activations. I feel like I want to run more of these guys. What I keep coming back to is like, does it help the aggro matchups? And I want to say I think it does because of the four toughness. Yeah, and playing, I'm looking at the chat now. If I had played the Kiki combo, I mean, the opponent would have been such a jerk. Like they would have, and this is totally fair. I'm saying jerk, like I don't mean that they're actually a jerk. I just mean like from my point of view, what I want to be happening is being prevented by the opponent, and like kudos to the opponent for playing competitive Magic. But if I played the Kiki combo, it would have been like activate Kiki, target Resto. They would have been like activate Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Then I've been like, okay, Kiki Jiki resolves. Restoration Angel targets Kiki Jiki. Scavenging Ooze activation, you know? Like, use the Arbor Elf to untap my land. Like, just putting all these unnecessary triggers on the stack. It's what MTGO encourages, like, through the system that they have. And I don't know that there's any better way to do it. So to return to the question, how do you guys feel after having watched it perform there and just thinking about it in general? How do you feel about this card's place in the deck? I mean, you've seen so far tonight the core synergies like just working really, really well. Astrolabes and Abundant Growths come out early, right? They fix our mana, they make it perfect. I think On Thin Ice had a really good showing against humans. I don't think it showed up against Ponza. I think Cryptic is obviously a home run. It's possible that we want to go up to 3 there. I mean, Parcel Beast is really, really good. So really curious what you guys are thinking. Maybe you're all watching other streams as well and not really not really listening to my questions here, but I'd love some feedback at this point. So, I mean, I can't really see justifying playing fewer than 2 Parcel Beasts at this point. Let me go ahead and add in the second one. I was on 2 for a while. I think when I made space for Kiki Jiki, I might have cut one of the Parcel Beasts. I think B single-handedly kept you in both those games versus Ponza. I'm sleeving up 80 to test tonight. Haven't played. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's actually quite good against Burn, or at least it can be. It should be in theory. You get like a wall down, and then go for Parcel Beast. Now you've got a 2/4 wall that they can't really attack into. If they go for the Searing Blaze, of course, you could potentially ephemerate it and split the two creatures up, kind of the reverse blowout. I kind of feel like I want to test more Parcel Beasts. But in the opening hand, if you don't have that 2-drop, they kind of end up being 4-drops, you know? Because if you can't get them on an early creature, they do cost 4 mana, which is substantial. So I guess I can stick on 2 for the time being. If I was going to add a 3rd Cryptic, what would I cut? Or what am I going to cut for the 2nd Parcel Beast? I mean, Venser is great against like the Tron matchups, and that's a matchup that we definitely want to make sure we have some game against. But there are games where Venser is kind of meh. I'm down to 1 Uro. I used to be on 2, but there's so much that the deck wants to be doing. So what's the idea in switching for Finale of Devastation? Like getting something out of our graveyard? I don't have it in front of me, but it's like what? It's green, an X, and it's a sorcery, which immediately makes it much worse, right? And it lets you get something from your deck or from your graveyard, right? Or is it green, green? I think maybe it's green, green X. You guys tell me. I could pull it up here, but got to jump through some hoops. GGX. Oh, and it gets big. Creatures you control. Wow. So it's like a big overrun effect. You don't get trample, but it is like a way to win, right? Access the yard, can dump tons of mana to pump the team with. I mean, it is another win condition unto itself, right? Which should make it kind of appealing. Does make it a kind of appealing. Casting it for 12 without Convoke. Oh, right, because the deck that it's played in is the one with infinite mana. Yeah, it's unlikely. I do have Dorks and I do have a bunch of lands in the deck, but in order for it to actually do that, X has to be 10 or more. So it's a little bit of a pipe dream, I guess. Yeah, I think DV Neal's got the right idea here. Is Convoke is a big part of Chord strength. Obviously, being instant, this card is really busted. It also has a ton of room, like to grow into, to really learn how to use it best. I'm just discovering. I've used it a lot, like when I first started playing Magic, like even before I picked up Merfolk. It was right about like Return to Ravnica, and so I was pretty familiar with this card, and because it existed back then, and I was playing elves and lots of like dirtily green decks, but you really need to know the creatures that are in your deck, like what targets you have. You need to remember what you sideboarded in, what creatures are in the graveyard, what creatures have been exiled. You know, you can get punished for missing any one of those details. Like, I thought I was going to win with Lavinia, and I had that line in my head for like a whole turn cycle, and turns out she was in the exile pile. So, well, yeah, thanks for at least thinking about it, DV. So I do like having the 6 removals. We are a little bit weakish to aggro, I think. You know what? Actually, I lost to Jund the last 2 times I played it, and it kind of bothers me. Renin 6 is such a busted card. Like, it comes down on turn 2, and it just kills a lot of the stuff that we're playing. It could be really hard to fight. Even though Jund, I think, is a great matchup, There have been sort of peaks and valleys, I think, throughout Soulherder's history on like how good a matchup Jund is, depending on which build we've been on. I think that Uro just kind of lines up perfectly against Kroxa. Like I think Uro just naturally beats Kroxa. So if we get a Chord and they don't kill off all of our creatures and Thoughtseize us at the beginning and we can Chord for Uro, I think it just helps us a ton. Parcel Beast is resistant to Bolt, which is awesome. It does die to Fatal Push. I do need to do a bit of protecting like in the Jund matchup for Parcel Beast, but it does seem like it does want to grind. Also, if you have like a turn 2 Wall of Blossoms and you put Parcel Beast and then they put Liliana and make you sacrifice it, it's kind of like the worst thing in the world. No, as far as Eternal Witness, 4 is the perfect number for running 80. I did draw a bunch of them, but you guys have all played games with 60 cards Soulherder. Even if you're on 3 Eternal Witnesses where you draw like 3 Eternal Witnesses, you draw all your Eternal Witnesses. It just happens sometimes, but it is kind of the best card in the deck. I appreciate the suggestion. And I thought that for a while that Chord, I should trim a Chord because I'd had games where I draw like 4 Chord of Qualities. Like, why am I drawing 4 Chords? Maybe I should just run 2 of this or something, but it's really central to the strategy. And with 80 cards, you draw it as often as a 3 of in 60 cards. So even maxing it out, you're already below where you would be running 4 with 60. And if we're going sort of silver bullet with the sideboard, obviously you want all 4 chords. So no, it's all good. Let's think through it. 29 lands is the sweet spot. I feel really good with 29 lands. It's possible that since I added 4 abundant growths, maybe I could go down a land, but most of my opening hands tonight I feel like have been like 2 landers, which is money. I could go up in Uro, right? But we have to look to trim. I also love these walls, right? They come down, they slow down any aggression. Prized Amalgams, Bloodbraid Elves, Champion of the Parishes, all sorts of stuff. So in that sense, they're really doing exactly what the deck wants to be doing. Similar with the abundant growths, they're cycling through the deck so hard, and then they just get so much value with when Yorion comes down. I had a stretch against a stretch of matches where I was playing against Ponza a bunch. It's a very popular deck right now. I think it's like number 1 actually in the format if you check Goldfish. And I was just getting screwed by Magus and whatnot, and so I do like the additional sort of mana insurance that these cards provide above and beyond how they synergize with Yorion. So we do have to trim somewhere, right? The main deck Lavinia was a nod to aggro, a way to close out games, Alpha Strike, and I do like it. Do like it in the deck. Venser might just be the weak link. Some of these blue cards have been hanging on because of when Force was in the deck. Now, it's not to say that Venser's only been played as like a blue card to pitch to Force. It's just that I do sideboard it out in a lot of matchups. Like, it's really bad against Jund. Tempo doesn't matter against Jund. So, and it's not really great against fast aggro because what are we talking about? Humans, they're just going to replay their Mantis Rider with haste, or they're going to replay all their ETB value, so like you're not really bouncing great stuff against humans. It's really slow against burn and prowess. I mean, if you can get it off against prowess, it's really solid. But I think I'll start by trimming Venser. The card's always been kind of on the edge for me. Seems like it gets better and worse depending on how much Tron you have around. All right, so that brings us back down to 80 just by trimming that Venser. And so a second Parcel Beast for Venser seems like a good deal, a good trade. The late, I feel like we hold down the late game pretty well. And I've got the 4 Ceremonious against Tron that I might not really need to lean on Venser so hard against Tron. I could also just put Venser in the sideboard as like a bullet, if I feel like he's that important. Also, I have Oof and Revoker against Tron. Deputy's great, Knight's okay. Against Eldrazi Tron, I mean, I think we have a pretty good matchup. All right, so I mean, this I can sit on this for a while. I think that Cryptic is sort of okay at 2 copies. I just need to remember not to board it out against grindy board stall matchups like Ponza. Against Jund, what's been happening is like I'll mulligan to 6 and I'll keep, you know how it goes. I'll keep like 3 lands, an Icefang Coatl, an Eternal Witness, and an X, like a Path or something. And they Thoughtseize you and they take your Icefang Coatl, and then they turn 2 they play Wrenn and 6, and now you've just lost, right? So even just mulliganing to 6 and keeping like an okay 6 against Jund can just like go in the toilet immediately. I had a match against Jund that I lost, but like it was absurd. Like I mulliganed to 5. I think I kept like 1 land or something and almost stabilized, right? Almost stabilized, but they have so many resources now between Wrenn and 6, always getting back lands, being able to kill your creatures, and then they have Kroxa, making you discard repeatedly. So anyhow, 2-1 for the evening so far. We beat Amulet Titan and humans, and then we unfortunately lost to Ponza because of the way that MTGO works. Could have won multiple ways on that turn if I knew that Lavinia wasn't in the deck. Even if I whiffed on Lavinia, I could have courted again for Resto. Oh, you know what? Who was mentioning that I could have done the Kiki combo there? I don't think I could have done the Kiki combo there because I needed to cast an Eternal Witness to get back. I need to cast the Eternal Witness to get back the cord, right? Even though I had a lot of creatures, I needed to cast the Witness to even access the cord. I don't think I had any birds up at the end, but it's possible I did. So maybe I'll play one more match. Oh, I had Witness on board. I see. So I would have gotten Resto and then blinked Eternal Witness. Makes sense. And of course, awesome for you pointing it out because now I've got like, a little bit more in my head about how to look for lines towards, combos. All right, let's join. So Witness was on board. Honestly, when I grabbed Resto, I wasn't really thinking combo. I was so low on time. I was just thinking whatever, grab a 4-drop. But it's cool that the deck actually could have won from that spot. Like in paper, it would have just been over, right? Because as long as I knew what to do, I would assuming, right? So you pretty much, if you have an Eternal Witness on board, I became very familiar with what to look out for as far as math for the Time Warp combo. But for the Kiki combo, I'm not as savvy yet, I don't think. Man, I shouldn't have lost that though, right? And it's, you think, okay, I'm gonna chill out, take it a little bit easy at the beginning of the game. Don't need to rush every single play, but you kind of do. This is awkward, but it's a keep. We've got 2 sort of cycling card draw effects, mana fixing, opponent's mulliganing, some defense. It's actually quite a nice hand, starting off with 8 cards in hand, right? If this is the 8th card, it's kind of exactly what we want. We're going to build up a bit of a board, draw some cards, cast Yorion. I didn't play myself the Avalanche Riders. I bought the Avalanche Riders because I wanted to buy it before it like shot up in price if people go crazy about Soulherder. I didn't play it myself, but it just looks a little bit clunky. Like this whole thing about swapping out Avalanche Riders for Path and back and forth and back and forth. It just seems like Path is like a card we want to just have 4 or more of. All right, maybe this is Ponza again and we get to redeem ourselves. Oh, maybe it's Burn. Looks like Burn. So maybe Wall of Omens is going to be nice. Maybe Path is going to be nice. These basics are going to be nice. This wall that I can cast off of white mana is going to be nice. The mulligan to 5 that they just made is going to be nice. Parcel Beast on the wall is going to be nice. I'm getting a little bit boring with the nices, but... All right. And they didn't start with a creature. That's typically pretty good. If they play Eidolon, that'd be a little bit obnoxious. Cool to note that Parcel Beast doesn't get pinged by Eidolon since it's 4 CMC, even if you mutate it. Okay, this is looking good for us, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna play around counter magic. Seems smart. More basic lands, please. Oh, more Wall of Almonds. Bit of life gain, and I think we should just put this one in the books. Path with no creatures, not the best. We are cruising towards Yorion. We can put down a birds and a land next turn. Opponent with the 3rd land on the 5-land hand. It's got to be good for us. Okay, Rift Bolt and what? So now it's just Parcel Beast birds, I guess, right? Yes, deck. No, it's Parcel Beast. I think getting birds down is a little bit more important than getting a Parcel Beast activation here. You know what? I might just play Wall and birds. That way I actually get to blink more stuff with Yorion when she comes down. Which will be next turn unless the birds eat a Searing Blaze here. That's interesting. I really doubt I'm going to go to time against Burn. Still going to play fast though. They didn't have any spells in hand. They probably should have cycled their Canyon. They're going to hit the birds or they're going to hit my face? I feel like with limited resources they have to hit my face, but they do know that Yorion's a thing. Okay, drawn up to 2 cards. I'm at 11. You know, haven't seen any life gain yet. Could cord for something. We do have an Ephemerate. So next turn, if we draw cord, we could cord for like Night and then Ephemerate it. Gain 8 life. All right, they're going for it here. Wow, all right. You got it, opponent. Jeez. I've got to win, though. I've got to win. So, again, Parcel Beast and Yorion are both spells I can cast without getting pinged by Eidolon. I can also just path the Eidolon right now. It puts me down to 6. Play Parcel Beast and like an Ice Fang. Opponent's on 0 cards. I really don't like being at 6. I think pathing Eidolon just seems necessary. No, but the Eidolon on board is also going to hit their life total. So why don't I just go for Yorion here? Start getting our beat down on. All right, so anything the opponent draws and casts is going to hit them. Eidolon. Got these wall. Oh, okay, there we go. We've got some defense, so in a decent spot. Despite mulling to 5, you can see how tricky this matchup can be to navigate. They've got another draw here with the Sunbaked Canyon. Really use some life gain here. Stack. 4/5 flyer, draw 3. Start the game with it in hand every time. Parcel Beasts are good. Parcel Beasts are good. They don't hurt our life total. I feel like I can pitch the land. Don't really want more Astrolabes, but whatever. You know, it's just like way too many cards. Oh yeah, Bant is absolutely worth playing if you don't own Cryptics. Like, I just saw Cryptic in Scott's list, and it just looked like it was doing so much, like being able to loop it with Eternal Witness. It just seemed amazing, so opponent playing a land. So I think Bant is excellent. The mana is completely bulletproof with all these astrolabes, and okay, they're doing something here. No main deck paths, right? What's happening here? Searing Blaze on my birds. Well, that's okay. I mean, we're going to take 3. It's a little rough, but the opponent's taking damage too. Really want some life gain. Come on. Let's go life gain. Come on. All right, that's life gain. So I'm going to cast that. I'm going to not take any damage. And then I'm going to Ephemerate the Knight. Take a little bit of damage, but then just Ephemerate it right away and hopefully get out of range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might even. I think I'm just going to tap Yorion here. Oh, you know what? Knight can even just blow up Eidolon when it enters. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, I need to tap this. Hold on a second. What? Tap, tap, tap. Jesus. What is going on, deck? Tap, tap, tap. 1, 2. Let's do green. Okay, we are done. We're gonna get Knight of Autumn. We're gonna blow this thing up. And we're actually going to Ephemerate Yorion here, which will get us our nice end step action. Okay. Draw 4 more cards, or 3 more cards. Gain some life. Awesome. That was a great draw of the cord. So anybody who's watching, thanks for joining me at the stream tonight. I've been having a lot of fun with this 80-card Bant list. I do have 1 red card with Kiki, just because I've been courting so much in games and haven't really had just like a slam dunk thing to play. So, you know, Lavinia does a pretty good job, but she lets us alpha strike since the opponent can't block. What am I even going to discard here? I mean... But having Kiki like just wins games. Like I'm like somehow ahead of the burn opponent on time as well. It's good for anybody who's not following the stream already. Please follow, and if you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe. You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. Because if you link your Prime account, your Amazon Prime account with Twitch, it another cord, huh? A Soulherder, I guess. Just shut this thing down. I don't know. I don't have Cryptic Mana yet. So let me finish. If you want to subscribe, you can link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch Prime account and give me a free subscription. Is basically that's what I'm trying to say here. So I don't know, like attack, just win the game. It's just one, this is just one match. I mean, sorry, one game. I still have to win another game against Burn. They did mulligan to 5 here. We'd probably be pretty dead if they didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Getting Soulherder just seems fine. Let's do it right now. I could get like, I could just do the combo. I don't know. So what is happening here? I need to, it's so weird how this, the program does this. Okay, opponent scooped. They're tired of watching me dirtle. The way that, like the order that you have to put, like you have to like filter with Astrolabe and then tap the creatures. I guess I had to filter, I don't know. It's just weird. Opponent taking mercy on us. Okay, against Burn, I've got 4 extremely solid cards to bring in. We'd love to snap off an opening hand with one of those. The rest is like, whatever. The rest is max, so we just need to cut 4 cards, and typically it's just going to be heavy cards, right? Cryptic Command. Cool that we had Parcel Beats in hand. DJ Parcel Beats in the house. To play around Eidolon, you know, it didn't come up. It wasn't actually that necessary since the opponent didn't have a lot of resources to work with, but it is something, you know, that sort of cleverly plays around it. Although, you know what? When you cast this, you cast it for 2, right? If you cast this, no, but its CMC still costs still 4, and that's what Eidolon cares about. I doubt we're going to be comboing. I could probably just trim Kiki, right? Like, Resto still seems okay to save a creature from, like, Searing Blaze, something like that. Lavinia, they're not really locking stuff up. I don't think I'll need that for the Alpha Strike. Do I currently still have a 4-color list? That's funny. I forgot to ask you guys if you can see how does the Cardboard Live thing work? I haven't. This is my first stream since actually trying to implement it. I obviously need to update the list. Deputy is bad in this matchup. It's nice to not have to worry about not trimming blue cards, like to keep Force online. So I don't know. At this point, it's like whatever. Trim a Soulherder because it's a little bit weak. Trim a Cryptic. Trim a Cryptic. That seems fine. So yeah, no, I'll update the list. How do I feel about it though? Honestly, I felt like the mana was a little bit weird because you're drawing like out of 80 cards and you could not hit your 4th color. But since then, I've added all the Abundant Growths and Birds. So if you want to go 4 colors, I would just say go 4 Abundant Growths, 4 Astrolabes. Look at this hand, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this hand. Opponent mulliganing to 6. Mulliganing. So I gotta go white and then shock. No, white and then Flooded Grove, and I'm good to go for Auriok on turn 2. So anyhow, I love Siege Rhino. You guys know I love to play Siege Rhino. So if you're into that kind of thing, play black. Or you could even play, you could just honestly, you could sub in like 1 Siege Rhino and you'd be totally set on black. But if you want to start running like Abrupt Decays and Assassin's Trophies, you might need to think about the mana base a little bit. Like this Stomping Grounds is probably excessive to be able to cast Kiki because we just always draw so many Astrolabes and Abundant Growths. So go turn 1 Astrolabe, turn 2 Auriok Champion. Against a creature draw like this, where they're playing a creature on turn 1, it's just like Auriok Champion's so good. The best thing though here would be like if we draw a Burnt and Forge Tender. Yeah, all right, didn't get it, but we did draw another land, which you're not complaining about. That's something we were a little bit light on in the hand. Turn 2 Auriok Champion. There's a few things I love more against playing that against Burn on turn 2 is just amazing. It gains so much life playing all these creatures. Oh, I've got more life gain with Knight. I didn't even think about that. It's just like so focused on the Auriok. I just saw like gold cards and lands. I was like, let's keep the hand. Looks good. All right, opponent has a 2nd land. Good for them. Okay, are we like block stepping some Burn or what's happening here? Like post combat landing like an Eidolon? I say all of that seems sort of fine. All right. Got some Burn thrown at my face. Probably should have done it like during oh wait, Skewer they need to do after, right? So another Skewer would make sense. Though they are on 3 cards and it's only turn 2, so they could have a land up there. Yeah, another Skewer, that makes sense. All right, so we just have to not get 11'd next turn. On Thin Ice is another good one. So we go white, and then we use this busted-ass card right here to filter colorless mana and make white mana. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, unless they drew a path, in which case, super good. But I've got a knight to follow up with, so maybe not good enough. Okay, there's a land on turn 3. Opponent not drawing super well. We're not dealing with the nuts here. Okay, nice. Gain a life, sure. And, you know what, I'm not, like, if they want to juke me and, like, play a spell here, like, whatever. I got a Prismatic Vista, nice. I'm just gonna block the Goblin Guide. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna take 2 from this anyway, so they have a spell. So be it. I'm gonna, like, guarantee prevent 2 damage here. See that? Economizing. So, is the last card in their hand Skullcrack? Basic land. My deck is loving me tonight. I just haven't been able to play fast enough a lot of the time. Well, either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I got so many choices. I can play Wall of Blossoms and On Thin Ice. Opponent's not doing very much. I've got way more than enough lands to cast Yorion when the time comes. I've got Death Touch already because of this Astrolabe. I mean, it's like, might as well play around Skullcrack here. You know, if they have the Skullcrack, they're probably gonna burn it on the end step anyway, or potentially in response to an Auriok Champion trigger. I'm just gonna put the wall down. You know, people talk a lot about like how bad sorcery speed is, and it's way worse than instant speed. But a lot of times it doesn't really matter too much. All right, definitely getting our land game going here. I could probably attack safely, but, you know, whatever. All right, looks like opponent doesn't have too much. Again, I think that pretty much shows us that they don't have Skullcrack, and now I'm not playing around it off the top deck, so I'll probably just slam Knight of Autumn next turn. Yeah, opponent just scooped it. I mean, it's like it is really refreshing though to see like Burn get like crushed, like utterly broken in half, because they're usually the one doing that kind of thing, you know? Turn 1, Goblin Guide. Turn 2, 2 more Goblin Guides. Turn 3, Eidolon. It's like, I can't do anything. So what were our cards going to be coming up here? Path, Parenton. So, nice. So 3-1 for the evening. Should be 4-0, but I lost to myself. Lost to the clock. Not complaining, just like, you know, in another universe where I played that game in paper, it would have been an easy win. So the deck just feels sweet. You know, I said it earlier in the stream, when we're not, even when we're losing, it's just so much fun. It's like big brain magic. It's like, what should I do right now? Should I play this card drawing effect or this card drawing effect? Like, am I going to slam Yorion as soon as I get 5 mana? Or am I going to build my value mountain? And then when Yorion comes in eventually, it's just like utterly unbeatable. Generally, if you're ahead on board, you're just going to keep playing your hand out. Like, you don't have to slam Yorion. And actually, it's probably best not to, because then they're just pathing and you only drew 2 cards or something like that. But if you're ahead on board against humans or Burn or really almost any deck, except for like counterspell decks, like if somebody's tapped out it'd be a good opportunity just to slam Yorion because it's such a good beater and you get some value out of it. But in most situations, like if you're ahead against Jund, just keep playing your hand out. Like play a Wall of Blossoms, play a Wall of Omens, hold up Path, like whatever. Make them deal with that stuff. Keep drawing cards off your cantripping creatures and cantripping effects in general. And then, when you feel like it, cast your Yorion. It's just like such inevitability. It's such a crazy broken kind of card. I mean, the brokenness of it, honestly, is the brokenness I think that applies to Lurrus is the fact that you start with it every single game. Like it's so dependable, and that's the whole idea with the mechanic, the companion mechanic, is you're imposing deck building restrictions in order to gain the boon of always having access to this card. In effect, starting +1, right? So starting with 8 cards, or if you mulligan, you start with 7, etc. Now, Lurrus might just be on another level. I was talking about this on the Discord earlier today, but Lurrus is really comparable to like an Eternal Witness, right? It just gets something from the graveyard. But it's got hybrid mana, so it's very flexible to cast. They're both 3-drops. They both require 2 colored mana to cast. But Lurrus is more flexible on the mana it can use. It's got bigger stats than Eternal Witness. It's a 3/2. It lets you Eternal Witness lets you get spells back from the graveyard as well as permanents. Lurrus only permanents, so there's a little bit on Eternal Witness's side there as far as the potency of its effect. But it's 3/2. It's bigger. It's got lifelink, which is massive on a 3/2 body, and the biggest thing of all is its ability applies every single turn for the whole game. So, I mean, think about if instead of Yorion, we had like an Eternal Witness that triggered every single turn for the whole game. Like, that would be so busted. The problem, like, we can't run Lurrus in this deck because we're running, janky 4-drops, right? Like, we're not so super low to the ground that we can get away with that. And we don't really want to. Like, Lurrus is for those low to the ground decks. But being able to activate it every single turn, it's just... Eternal Witness is one of the best cards ever printed in Magic. And Lurrus is in so many senses just better. And you start the game with it every single time. So I think Lurrus is just on the way out. I think Yorion is like really beautifully balanced. And the number of people who are playing Soulherder all of a sudden, like it was on Star City Games today. I mean, obviously, Gabe Nassif just like top 8'd, top 4'd Modern Challenge this past weekend. Another Soulherder deck made top 8. Shout out to CFT, SOC3. So like so impressive, that guy, like just constant results. So Yorion is just a really beautifully balanced card. I feel like being able to cast it every game is really busted, but at the same time, we're playing 80 cards. And like a couple weeks ago, people would have like laughed you out of the room if you said like you were going to run an 80 card deck in Modern. So here we are, running 80 card decks in Modern. So that's going to be it. As I mentioned, I think we ended 3-1. Should have been 4-0. Pretty easy match against Ponza, honestly. I just need to get a little bit quicker with my clicks. Maybe get a new laptop, though my laptop is pretty capable in general. Thanks for joining me again. If you haven't followed yet, please do that. If you'd like to throw a subscription my way, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions, always feel free to @ me in the Discord. Always happy to answer new players' questions, veterans' questions. Love thinking about this deck, love playing this deck, and just love spending time with you guys playing the deck. So until next time, be safe and have fun. I'll see you next